Effectively, they were practicing what I call financial alchemy. Alchemy in the Middle Ages believed that you can convert base metals like lead into gold. They were doing the same thing.
So how is it that conservative investors were willing to buy bonds created from risky subprime mortgages?
The answer is credit ratings. The reason they were willing to take these hot potatoes was that the credit rating agencies had said that they're rated AAA, they're rated AA. These are highly rated instruments. They weren't hot potatoes, or at least they didn't look like they were hot potatoes.
The rating agency said, no, don't worry, these are perfectly safe. We used our fancy, complicated models, and we can certify that these are safe enough to be put in your portfolios.
Turns out they weren't. Those AAA-rated CDOs are now considered central to the global financial crisis.
1 year later now, are these credit rating agencies doing the right thing?
The rules are the same. Nothing has changed. The laws have not changed. They continue to run their credit rating agencies in the way that they believe will best enhance their own profits and revenues. You have to change the rules of the road. I mean, markets work, capitalism works with a set of underlying rules. We can make this system work with regulation. I'm not somebody who believes it's time to throw the whole thing out. But regulation has got to support it, and the way it supports it is it increases transparency in the system. It increases honesty in the system. It increases accountability in the system. When you get those things, there's plenty of room to make profits. There's plenty of room to be rich. I'm all for that. But it's got to be profits that were made honestly. It's got to be profits that came from bringing something new and valuable to the marketplace, not just figuring out the newest trick.
And when you say that, I just keep saying, well, what do you want to, what needs to happen, Elizabeth? What needs to, I mean, do Americans need to take to the streets and say, change the regulations and change the rules? Is that really going to happen?
I hate to say it. I know something like regulatory reform sounds so boring that I may fall asleep when I say it. But the reality is, Congress is about to write the rules of our economic system that will guide us for the next 50 years. If they get it right, we're good. If they get it wrong, the country we knew will be gone.
And so what do you want our viewers? What should they be doing?
They need to be on their representatives in Congress, their senators. This is democracy. And if we, the people, don't insist that those who are in Washington represent us, then they'll go back to the same rules that benefit the same large financial institutions. And frankly, at that point, man, we're all just working for the big banks.
As we speak, this is 1 year later, and it seems like we could have been having the same conversation a year ago. Did we absolutely miss the opportunity to do what you keep saying? Change, fundamental change in how our economy runs?
If you're asking me, is all hope lost? The answer is no. Right now, Congress has finally stepped up and is taking this up. They're ready. They're starting to act. Now, Wall Street's back in business, and boy, are the lobbyists in business. They are thundering through Washington in numbers that we've never seen before. So yeah, it's going to be a tougher lift right now than it would have been 6 months ago. But that doesn't change the reality, and that is Congress is moving, and they are going to write a new set of rules. The only question is, will those rules be written to benefit ordinary, hardworking American families, what I think of as the real economy, or will those rules be written to benefit a handful of giant financial institutions?
We'll hope for the best, but thank you so much for joining us, Elizabeth Warren.
Thank you.
Now, just this week, we got a look at one new way of crafting those rules. The chairman of the Senate Banking Committee, Christopher Dodd, proposed ambitious legislation that would overhaul the financial system. The bill would consolidate the many regulators that oversee banks. It would impose new restraints on complex financial products like derivatives, and it would create a new consumer financial protection agency. But the plan faces heavy opposition from the financial industry. Some moderate and conservative Democrats are skeptical, and no Republicans have signed on. Connect to Now online at pbs.org. How will the Credit Card Act of 2009 affect you directly? Our resident financial expert explains its impact on your debt, your credit cards, and even your gift cards. Connect to Now at pbs.org. On the next edition of Now, advances in battlefield medicine mean that thousands of soldiers are surviving serious head injuries, but their families say too little is being done to help care for these wounded when they come home.
It really isn't publicized what it really means to be injured or severely injured in this war.
And that's it for now. From New York, I'm David Brancaccio. We'll see you next week.